Have you ever wanted to play a BTD6 map in Bloons TD6? Well, dudes, that's exactly what I'm going to be doing today. I am going to be bringing the map in the wall from BTD2 all the way over to Bloons TD6 using the BTD6 Map Editor. So the map in the wall from BTD2 is a really unique design, and I thought it was actually something that I could recreate in a BTD6. So it shouldn't be too hard to create. I think the only issue that I'm going to have is probably going to be with like the actual wall, but I think I can actually come up with a really cool design. So the first thing we need to do is we need to choose a path that we're going to use with this map. So as far as like in the wall is concerned, I think in the wall would look really good with this map with this path right here, because I think in the wall, this is the closest map path that I could find for in the wall. Now for the map in the wall, we have two paths that come on each side of the map. So that's the first thing that we need to do is we need to create those two separate paths. Now, as far as the basic layout for in the wall, this is actually going to be the basic layout. Now, I know it looks wonky right now, so I need to go through and I need to clean up both of the pathways. All right, and I think that should about do it for the pathway. I tried to get it as accurate as I could. I ran into a little bit of issues up here in the top left because it kept on wanting to like spawn the pathway over here on the left-hand side. So this is as far to the left as I could get it. So if it's a little bit imbalanced compared to the right side, you just know there's nothing that I could do about it. This is as close as I could get it. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to come up with a background. Now, for in the wall, I wish I could have like a different background, but the background that they have for in the wall is like a cement background. But unfortunately, we really don't have any options for a cement background in Bloons TD6. So instead of that background, let's go with this mud background. I think this background would look pretty good for this style of map. All right, so now that we have this background, the next thing we need to do is we need to add the wall in the center of the map. Now, the wall in the center of the map has like a reddish brown aspect to it. So there's only a couple of things that we can actually use for that style of background. And it's going to be the rocks right here. So I need to construct a wall using this style of rock. So what I'm doing right now is I'm doing the basic layout for the wall. And then we'll start adding a bunch of detail in between these rocks, because I want to make sure that we have the background as straight as we can get it. And then once we have the background all set up, that's when we'll start adding the different aspects and the different detail. Because the only detail on this map is the actual wall itself. All right, so now that we have the basic construction set up, now start messing around with the rock a little bit to try and add a little bit more detail. All right, so that should do like the bare bones of the wall. Again, I want to add a little bit more detail to try to bring it to life a little bit more. The only problem is like when we start adding detail, that's when things start going awry. Like I wish there was like a square rock, because if there was a square rock, this would be so much easier. So this is gonna do for my wall. I know it doesn't look the best, but I try my best to like break up all of the rocks that I placed to actually make the wall. As far as like a basic wall is concerned, I think that this is about the best that I can do with my current talent. Now, I do have plans of like getting better, but it's just gonna take time in like creating more and more maps in order for me to get better at making these maps. Now, the next thing that we need to do as far as in the wall is concerned is I think we need to go to the swamp option. No, it's not underneath the swamp option. Is it underneath the ocean option? No, it's not underneath the ocean. Where is it? There should be one option for like adding a water feature. Here it is. This is the water feature that I was talking about. Now on the map in the wall, there are 4 water features that kind of look similar to this. So I figured I would use these to add those water features. All right, so we added the 4 water features. Now I want to add a little bit more detail to the map, because like I was saying, right now it looks a little bit bland. Now there is a couple of things that we can add right now that would add to the aspect, and that is going to be the wheelbarrow. Because on the map in the wall, there are 2 wheelbarrows, one on each side. And I think in the BTD6 Map Editor, there's actually a wheelbarrow. There we go. All right, so we do have the option of grabbing a wheelbarrow. So if I'm not mistaken, the first wheelbarrow is placed right here. So we'll place one here, and then we need to place one on the opposite side of the map. And we'll place this wheelbarrow right here. And then on the map in the wall, there are like sandbags next to the wheelbarrow. But because we don't have sandbags that we can use, let's use a dirt mound, and we'll place a dirt mound here, and then we'll also grab ourselves a couple of rocks. All right, so that's going to add the wheelbarrow and the dirt mounds there. So that adds a little bit of something to our maps. Now, the next thing that I was thinking about doing On the map in the wall, there are like little sections of the map that kind of have like this like I guess a broken up pattern like this. So I was wondering if I added like these rocks, if we could add a little bit of extra detail. The only problem is that these rocks really don't fit with this background. Now I was debating on like covering the entire background in this rock, but I don't know how it would look. Now, unfortunately, I can't make it so the props go beneath the paths. Otherwise, I would make it so I could actually make it so like the paths are above the rocks, because I think that would look really, really cool and it would give it like its own unique design. But unfortunately, we can't do it. So we'll go ahead and nix this plan. The next thing we can do is that instead of adding like bushes or stuff like that, we can actually use like these rocks. Because I think that these rocks would actually look pretty good on this style of map, because like, or especially around this wheelbarrow. And then the next thing we could add is we could like add these little dirt piles. I think these are, actually I think those dirt piles look a little bit wonky. We could add a couple of cracks though. I think the cracks are like the only other thing that we could add to this style of map that would really make it come alive, because I don't want this map to like look super barren. And I think the only thing I can think of is the only thing I can actually think of adding to this map are these cracks. So hopefully it doesn't look like too wonky. The next thing I thought about adding were these bones. I think these bones would add a little bit more color to the map, because right now it looks a little bit too dreary. Like, I don't want to add too many. I just want to add them as kind of like accents. And then I was reading the comments yesterday, and somebody said that I can actually relayer my stamps. So my stamps are below my path. I think that's actually something I want to do, because what if I can actually make the shadows on underneath the... Oh, this is exactly what I wanted. This will add a little bit more detail to our map in order to make it like come alive a bit more. Because I was worried that the path would be a little bit too barren. But if we add these shadows here, oh, dude, this makes it seem, or this adds so much detail. Like, it's not going to be perfect. Oh, wait, no. Can I take off or turn off the randomizer option with this path? Oh, that's so much better. Okay, so I think by doing this, it'll make it so that the path seems a little raised. And that's exactly what I want. There we go. That adds a little bit of detail to our track. That way our track doesn't look like super lame or like a super bland. So now that we added these shadows behind our track, I think it makes it look a lot better. Now I wonder if there's any other props that I can use to make this map come to life a little bit more. I guess we could add like a log. I guess this log kind of fits, right? What if we like added a couple of logs up here as like the people who were like making like the wall, they ended up like cutting down a bunch of trees and then they just like left these old logs to like rot. There we go. And then we'll add like a rock in front of this. Let's move this a little bit more so it's like more centered. And then like I was saying, we'll add ourselves a rock, but the rock is going to be moss covered. So we'll turn it and then we'll add this rock right here. And I think this looks really, really good. Like, it's just like an added feature to add a little bit more detail. Then we'll add like a cobweb here to make it seem like these logs have been here for a long time. We'll add 2 cobwebs with a spider on it. Man, speaking of spiders, I absolutely despise spiders. I know they're supposed to like help us out with bugs, but that still doesn't change the fact that I dislike spiders. Now, the last thing I want to do, like the bottom path here just looks a little bit too barren. So I wonder if I go to the desert option, if I can add like a tree or 2 here to make it to add a little bit more detail to the bottom. Like, I know I want to like make this like the original like in the wall map, but it's just a little bit too barren for me. So by adding this tree down here in the bottom, it'll like satisfy my desire to like add a little bit more detail. So I think for the map in the wall, for my personal rendition of the map in the wall from a BTD Battles 2, I think this is a pretty good job. Actually, there's one more thing that I need to add. I almost forgot that there's actually a couple things on in the wall that I forgot about. And that, of course, is pigeon. Like, there are a bunch of pigeons on top of the wall, but unfortunately, because like the pigeon is a prop itself, I'm gonna have to add these pigeons in a different area. So on the map in the wall, there are 2 pigeons on each side. So we'll stick with the amount of pigeons that are on each side, and we'll just add 2 on each side. All right, and I think that should about do it for my map in the wall. The last thing that we need to do is we actually need to play our map, and hopefully we beat it. Like, it shouldn't be too hard, but this is a double pathway map. So the last thing we need to do is we need to name our map, and we're gonna call it In the Wall, of course, from BTD Battles 2. Now that we've named our map, the last thing we need to do is, of course, we need to actually beat our map. Now, again, guys, I will be playing on easy standard because I want to see if you guys can actually beat this map on Chimps. We'll add a dart monkey here, we'll add a dart monkey here, and then we'll add one more dart monkey at the top here like this. And then let's go ahead and add our soda as well. Actually, I kind of want to like move this dart monkey up a little bit. So let's go ahead and restart really, really quick. We'll add our soda here, and then we'll add one dart monkey here like so. We'll add a second dart monkey, and then we'll add a third dart monkey right behind our soda. So now the last thing to do is just to beat our map, and this map shouldn't be too difficult. I'll probably end up using the monkey sub because I think the monkey sub would work really, really well here, because I know in BTD Battles 2, the tower that I used to use on this map all the time is the monkey sub. So we'll throw ourselves a monkey sub right here. We'll probably end up upgrading both of these dart monkeys up to probably sharpshooters, because sharpshooters for dart monkeys are really, really good. Plus, on top of that, it will help us out a lot with our monkey sub. But before we do that, I'll add myself a second monkey sub on this side of the map, because we will need to upgrade one of these monkey subs up to armor piercing dart, or not armor piercing darts, but hot shots. I meant heat tip darts. Okay, so there we go. Let's go ahead. We'll upgrade this dart monkey all the way up to crossbow with quick shots and very quick shots first. And I actually wonder like how hard this map would be if we were to actually play it on Chimps. Also, while we are taking the time to beat this map, I just want to say thank you guys so much for watching the video. I really appreciate it. I also appreciate the support on the series of like remaking maps and creating my own custom maps. Like, you guys are going absolutely ham, eggs, and bacon with all of the comments as well as all of the likes. And also, guys, if you guys have been enjoying this video so far, please feel free to hit that like button. Also, if you guys are subscribed, please feel free to subscribe as well, because I do upload a daily Bloons content. Also, if you guys are really enjoying my Bloons content and you guys would like to see more Bloons content that I have created, I currently have a second channel, and on that second channel, I'm currently doing a full playthrough of Bloons TD6 from start to finish. And what I mean by full playthrough is I mean that I am uploading every single game mode in Bloons TD6 and every single map as well. Currently in the playthrough, I believe I am currently on episode 72. So if that's something that sounds like a cool idea, or something that you guys want to check out, please feel free to check out the description below, and I'll leave a link to the channel. All right, so a little bit of an update. Currently, the monkey subs are working really, really well. The last thing I probably want to do is I want to upgrade the star monkey up to sharpshooter, and if I can afford to, I would like to upgrade the star monkey up to sharpshooter as well. Now, obviously, I don't think it would be this easy on Chimps mode, because obviously we're playing on easy mode, so we have more money, so we can afford a little bit more of a elaborate defense. All right, round 40. The last thing we had to do was beat the Moab balloon, and we actually beat it before I could actually get my words out. All right, there we go. So now the last thing we need to do is we need to go ahead and share and submit our map. So this is the map that you guys would like to play yourself. Here is the code. But that's going to do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you guys hit that like button, and I'll see you dudes in the next one.